3 weapons, powerful enough to destroy the entire world. And the scariest part, they're not myths, they already exist. For years, One Piece has teased the existence of the ancient weapons Pluton, Poseidon, and Uranus. Most people treat them like distant legends. Something important, yes, but not immediate. But that assumption is dangerous, because when you start connecting the pieces, a much darker truth begins to emerge. These weapons were never meant to protect the world, they were meant to end it. Let's start with the one we understand the most, Poseidon. Unlike the others, Poseidon isn't a ship or a machine, it's a person. Shirahoshi, a quiet, emotional princess who, on the surface, looks completely harmless. But hidden inside her is a power that no Yonko, no admiral, not even the world government can truly control. The ability to command sea kings, ancient beings that live far below the ocean's surface, massive creatures that dwarf even the largest warships, creatures that have existed long before the current world took shape. And we've already seen what they can do. They don't just fight, they reshape the sea itself. Now imagine thousands of them moving together, not guiding ships, not protecting islands, but attacking. Entire fleets would disappear in seconds. Nations could be dragged beneath the ocean. Trade routes would collapse. The balance of the entire world would shatter almost instantly. And the most terrifying part isn't the power, it's the lack of control. Shirahoshi doesn't fully understand what she holds, which means all it takes is one moment of fear, one moment of anger, or the wrong person pulling the strings. And Poseidon becomes a catastrophe, not a weapon of war, a weapon of extinction. Now compare that to Pluton. Because Pluton is the complete opposite. It doesn't rely on emotion. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't feel anything. Pluton is pure mechanical destruction. A warship so powerful that it was said to be capable of erasing entire islands with a single attack. Not defeating enemies, not conquering territory, erasing it completely. And unlike Poseidon, Pluton was built, which means someone, at some point in history, decided that this level of destruction was necessary. We know the blueprints existed in Water 7, we know the government desperately wanted them, and we know that Frankie made a decision that defines that story. He burned them. Not because he didn't understand their value, but because he refused to live in a world that needed a counter weapon to survive. He bet everything on one idea, that freedom shouldn't require equal destruction to defend it, that people like Luffy shouldn't need something like Pluton to win. But here's the problem. Pluton still exists, hidden deep beneath Wano, sleeping, waiting. And if it awakens, it won't ask who is right or wrong. It will simply follow orders, which means if Poseidon represents uncontrolled emotion, Pluton represents controlled annihilation. And together, they already threaten everything. But then, there's Uranus, the weapon we understand the least and fear the most. Because we've already seen its shadow, the destruction of Lulusia Kingdom. One moment, it existed. The next, it was gone. Not conquered, not invaded, erased. A beam descended from the sky, and in an instant, an entire island vanished without a trace. And behind that power was Imu. But here's the detail that changes everything. That power wasn't used freely, it required something. The mother flame, an energy source created by Vegapunk, a fuel, a key, which means even something as terrifying as Uranus is not limitless. It needs to be activated, powered, controlled, and that raises a much bigger question. If the world government already possesses a weapon capable of erasing islands, why are they still afraid of the ancient weapons? The answer is simple. Because Uranus can destroy, but it cannot be touched. If it exists in the sky, unreachable, untouchable, then only something that controls the sea, or something that can strike from the earth itself, could fight back. sea kings could drag it down. A warship like Pluton could potentially hit it, which means Poseidon and Pluton are not just weapons, they are counters. The only things in the world capable of challenging Emu. And suddenly, this isn't about destruction anymore. It's about balance. Land, sea, sky. 3 forces, 3 weapons, holding the world in a fragile equilibrium. And if that balance breaks, everything falls with it. Now go back 800 years to the Void Century, a war so massive that the victors didn't just win, they erased the truth. And in that war, these weapons were used. Not carefully, not strategically, but absolutely. Entire civilizations could have vanished in moments, continents reshaped, oceans redrawn. The world we see today might already be the result of that destruction. And at the center of it all was Joy Boy, a man who made a promise and failed to keep it. But what if that failure wasn't just personal? What if he failed to stop this cycle, failed to prevent the use of these weapons, failed to save the world from itself? Because you don't carve an apology into history unless the consequences are irreversible, which means the ancient weapons are not just relics, they are warnings, proof of what happens when power decides the fate of the world. And now, all 3 are returning. Poseidon is alive, Pluton is waiting, and Uranus has already been used. This isn't leading to a simple war, it's leading to a decision. Because at some point, someone will control all 3. And when that moment comes, the question won't be who becomes Pirate King. It won't be who wins. It will be something much colder. Does this world deserve to continue? And that's where Luffy becomes the most dangerous person in the story. Because Luffy doesn't want control. He doesn't want domination. He doesn't even want to rule. He wants freedom. And freedom cannot exist in a world built like a cage. So he won't try to protect it. He won't try to maintain it. Luffy doesn't want to save a broken world. He'd rather break the cage and see what survives in the ruins. So when the time comes, the ancient weapons won't just be tools of war. They will be instruments of judgment. And the one who chooses how they are used will decide the fate of everything. So the real question isn't what the ancient weapons are. The real question is, when Luffy stands at the center of all this power, will he use them or will he destroy them?